right throughout pretty much all of the world's philosophies is the concept of ego being the cause of most or all of our problems. And we often, I think in the West recently especially, as in the last 100, I guess it's since Freud and that use of the term ego, we kind of think of it to mean something different to what the Dharmic religions or the Toltec or I think the Abrahamic religions probably have it in some context. You know, the meek shall inherit the earth and the egolessness and this kind of stuff. So what I think when you understand what your ego is, it can totally enhance your life, because the ego is the part of us that isn't really us. It's the part of us that emerges from the complexes of our senses and our thoughts and our language and our perspective, and all of these things create this sense of me, when really there is no me. There is no thinker, only thoughts, as the Buddha says. When you get that, you start to see yourself causing yourself most of your problems all of the time. It's, you know, if I think of the problems in my life caused by other people, they are very few, at least in my kind of local life. In terms of the kind of big bad world out there, that's, I guess, a different story, and that's kind of a complex thing to deal with in terms of ego too. But locally, as in my world around me, the world I experience, most of my problems are caused by egos of me, by my ego, not anyone else's. It's how my ego makes me react. It's how my ego makes me feel that it's about me and all this kind of stuff. So the ego emerges. It's not really there. It is a phantom that wants to exist. It's got its own kind of survival mechanisms that make it all about me, all about you. And when you start noticing this, then you have this, I think, incredibly powerful tool to be able to say, that's just my ego. You know, when you have a little bit of kind of road rage reaction, you never think, you kind of, if you stand back and think about what just happened, then you realise you were the one who overreacted. Generally, you didn't have to be like that, and it was your ego wanting you to be like that. Look, there's a robin on the tree. Can we see? It's a quick detour. Yeah, might need to zoom in on that. So every time I kind of metaphorically go for the biggest bit of pizza, or feel negativity when asked to do a chore, that's my ego. And it's not a kind of it's not an excuse. That is the real you. That is in some sense behind that isn't responsive. The ego kind of must destroy itself. The thing behind the ego that comes with many, many different names. Some in the East they call it Buddha nature. In the West, I think the New Age people call it Christ consciousness. The Brahman, they call it. You know, it's infinite consciousness. There are countless names for it, and whether or not you believe that thing is true, that there is some kind of universal divine consciousness, that all cells are really just one self, that there's only one soul in the universe, whether you believe all of that or not, it doesn't actually affect the fact that seeing your ego as your biggest enemy can still be an incredibly... Has Jay's got an ego? I don't know about that. I think about that a lot. I think probably not. But yeah, seeing yourself as your biggest enemy But there's a quote that seems to crop up throughout history. I think Confucius says the same thing, Buddha says the same thing, Marcus Aurelius says the same thing. The greatest battle is against ourselves, and that's because of ego. So there we go. I definitely don't think the robin has the ego. The dog, maybe. He certainly has a waggy tail. And on that note, check yourselves and all of that stuff.